This week on The Splash, we praise our volunteers. Then we celebrate the community. And later we learn the facts about vaping. The Splash is the production of Civic Center TV. We're a news magazine that covers everything from local news to feature stories, all so that we can bring you the latest from the greater West Bloomfield area. And now, let's dive into The Splash.
Thank you so much for being with us on The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen. Historically, volunteers commit their time and energy without asking for anything in return. And reporter Ryan Younglove shows us how volunteers in West Bloomfield are helping preserve some of our history.
Here in the greater West Bloomfield, the Historical Society prides itself on its many volunteer opportunities.
Volunteers are how we exist and what we live by, and it's a great time, an opportunity for people to be involved with the community and have a place to come be connected with their neighborhood. They can host an open house where they're here to welcome people. They can be a host also at our events, often at the library. They can help us with our computer work. They can volunteer for our Apple Island tours. They can learn to give presentations for the community and assist with our production of our exhibits here.
The Greater West Bloomfield Historical Society takes a wide variety of volunteers from all levels of experience.
An interest and a willingness to follow through on a commitment, so it's mostly time and interest. We also look not as a volunteer so much, but people can volunteer to donate items to our collection. And they can also volunteer to come share their collection during an open house. We encourage people to share their collection. It's a great way to connect to your community, to learn more about the place that you're in. And I find that very satisfying, that you can see your connection to the past and then share that with the community, which is a great resource, and it adds to the quality of living for all of us here. We're very fortunate to live in an area that has such unique history, with the 4 different communities, with Apple Island, with transportation, with being close to Detroit. It's a unique history, and it's a great way to enhance your life.
This has been Ryan Younglove reporting for The Splash.
To find out more, you can visit civiccentertv.com/GWBHS volunteers. This year was the 47th Michigan Week Breakfast. We sent reporter Lawrence Nyland to get the details on those in the community that are being celebrated this year for the time, energy, and care that they have given to our community.
Honoring volunteer leadership and community achievement is what the Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Awards Breakfast is all about. And a packed crowd gathered at Bay Point Golf Club to pay tribute to those who consistently put helping others at the forefront of their lives.
The award I won was a Hidden Treasure Award, so it was a matter of what in the community we have done to help make it a better community. I work a lot with the Chamber, the West Bloomfield Chamber, and I was past president, so there's a number of areas that I've worked in to support businesses and then also community members to engage in the programs that they've had.
While volunteering can often seem like it's just one person helping another, an overlooked aspect of it is the benefit that volunteering can have on a community as a whole.
I think volunteering shows that you really care about who you are, you care about the community, and wanting to give them a sense of just helping others. That makes you always feel better. And then if you also can get out there, you never know who you're going to meet, and it's all about connections in life. And if you need something or need a help with a project, you know who to call and connect with. And I think it's just good to give back to the community and says a lot about who you are.
Volunteering has always been part of the family that I'm with, so it starts way back as I was somewhat a child, if we go back that far, but as a child and growing to know that the community has needs and we need to help the community out in order for it to grow.
Each one of us has unique knowledge, skills, and experiences, and when we volunteer, it is also an opportunity to share these parts of us with those we are helping out.
So being a part of the community, I like to get out and talk about self-identity, knowing who you are, and at the end of the day, who you want to be. Because obviously we hear about bullying quite often and the suicide rate, which obviously nobody wants to be a part of. And I think if we kind of take a step back and get to the greatest grassroots of it, we find that self-identity is knowing who you are. And we need to identify that, be secure with that, and know that the things and experiences that you go through in life will definitely make all the difference in how you are in your everyday.
Reporting for The Splash, this is Lawrence Nyland.
To view the full ceremony, you can visit civiccentertv.com/MichiganWeek19. Coming up, we hear about the dangers of vaping and then a new episode of Sidewalk Talk.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV. And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Thank you for being with us on The Splash. I'm Brooke Allen. Glad you could be with us. With the growing popularity of vaping, there are a growing number of people who are affected by the negatives that come with it. Reporter Andrea Petrus brings us the story from West Bloomfield Henry Ford Hospital.
Think vaping is safe? Think again. The Greater West Bloomfield Community Coalition teamed up with the Police Department and Henry Ford West Bloomfield to host a panel discussion about the effects of vaping in our community.
Most people, particularly younger people, are very aware what these vaping devices and products are, but there's a growing concern about their abuse and potential for abuse in our community.
The guest panel, including local law enforcement and medical professionals, shared their expertise on the matter to help the community understand the health risks and legal issues surrounding vaping.
Vaping is on the rise. People need to become aware of it. It is highly addictive, whether it's nicotine or marijuana, and education is power. So the more you learn and the more you know, the better informed decisions you can make.
Our school resource officer, Detective Katie Rocher, will be on the panel discussion tonight. And again, some of this, the momentum for asking our township officials to amend our ordinance regarding vaping devices came from our school resource officer and from some of our schools, because concerns about the proliferation of these kind of devices and their use in the community by minors.
Concerned parents and their children filled the hall, and the standing room only crowd came prepared with questions about the epidemic in high schools and the symptoms of abuse.
It's very hard for some parents to tell if the kids are in fact doing it because of the discrete nature of the new kind of devices, and the kids don't realize it's much more addictive. There's much more nicotine than regular cigarettes, and it's really of great concern. So I'm here to both learn about some strategies of how to deal with it with my daughter and her circle of friends, but also separate some of the rumors from the fiction and some of the facts about the devices themselves.
The West Bloomfield Police Department also came prepared with examples of the newer, more sophisticated and discreet devices parents may come across.
That's a vape pen, and it looks like a set of keys when it's close.
And I think it's a kind of an eye-opener to many people about the concerns and how potent these things, you don't really know what you're getting when you inhale one of these devices, and it's not well regulated. The FDA is starting to take more of an active role in regulating these devices and concerning about, because they're wild proliferation. Like 5 years ago, you barely heard of these things, and now you hear about them all the time.
One of my concerns is it seems like kids as young as 14 or 15 can readily get these devices. And then again, I want the whole addictive nature to be described, that if a kid just does a few hits off the highly concentrated jewel, they can essentially become addicted to nicotine or tobacco, and then that presents a whole set of other problems as well.
All of my life, we've had this issue about trying to get people to quit smoking. And though there's people that advocate that, well, this is a better way to smoke, if you will, or to use nicotine, it still has some downfalls to it. So that's why these presentations are important, because I think most parents, and particularly young people, will find it very informative.
Community members, if they join their local drug prevention coalition or at least sign up for emails, then they'll be aware of programs like this in the community that they can attend. Even if there isn't a program in their own community, it's likely that there's a program similar to it in a neighboring community.
Reporting for The Splash, I'm Andrea Petrus.
To know more on this story, you can visit civiccentertv.com/vaping. And now it's time for Sidewalk Talk, where reporter Patrick McElmurray asked the people of West Bloomfield a very sunny question.
With the weather getting warm, I'm looking forward to more beach time and more sunshine. What are you looking forward to the most?
My girlfriend just bought a cottage, and so all of us girls are looking forward to going up and hanging out on the beach and riding in our new pontoon and just having a good time.
I love it. What city?
Don't ask.
Probably going to the Woodbrook Hills Swim Club and spending some time outside with my kids. I love it. I love being outside. I love riding bikes. Just whatever, just being outside.
Did you ride a scooter today?
No scooter today. No, we were too tired. We didn't want to crash.
Getting out and having fun. Going to the concerts, the parks, getting out exercising.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, I love summertime and music concerts, outside concerts. It's great.
Yeah. I don't feel like sitting around the house. I'm not a house dog, so.
You gotta get out.
Yeah.
Going to the swim club, riding bikes, and riding our scooters.
Can't argue that.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it.
You just need the weather to get warmer.
Yes, please, soon. Thank you.
Good golly. Now, what are you looking forward to most about the weather getting warmer?
Wow, good question. I like to people watch inside my Jeep and go out for drives like downtown, Kensington Park, and I'm a people's person, so I like to walk downtown and say hi to everybody.
It's nice to be out and about and enjoy the weather.
Yes, it is.
I like it.
Opening up our pool in our backyard. It's my zen.
It's quite relaxed. Nothing like floating in the summertime.
With a glass of wine.
Perfect.
I'm going to go to the lake, and I'm going to meet some people and get on their boat, and we're going to party like it's 1999.
Can I be invited?
Yeah.
For Civic Center TV in West Bloomfield, I'm Patrick McElmurray, and this was Sidewalk Talk.
For more episodes of Sidewalk Talk on Demand, visit civiccentertv.com/sidewalk talk. And now it's time for the Civic Center TV event update. We provide you with upcoming events around Greater West Bloomfield. And for more events coming up, visit civiccentertv.com/events. Dispose of prescription drugs with Operation Medicine Cabinet happening year-round in West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, and Orchard Lake, and takes place at the police departments of the 3 communities. Disposing of drugs is completely anonymous, open 24/7 in West Bloomfield, Tuesdays and Thursdays 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Keego Harbor, and Monday through Friday 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Orchard Lake. For more information, visit oakgov.com or call your local police department. Come get a healthy helping from chefs and clinical dietitians at the Henry Ford West Bloomfield Hospital Demonstration Kitchen. Discover ways to maintain a balanced diet and healthy lifestyle. Cost is $10 a person, but includes a $5 voucher to Henry's Cafe. And for more info, visit henryford.com. Have your kids read to a dog Sunday at the public library. Trainers are bringing certified therapy dogs so your kids can practice their reading skills and help grow their confidence when reading. Cost is free, and for more information, visit wblib.org. Learn about online genealogy basics, uncover the history of your family at the library. You'll learn the basics of navigating Ancestry.com and work towards finding historical records and photos of your family. This is a free class. For more information, visit wblib.org. Get big business tips this Wednesday at the public library. You'll learn about what it takes to turn prospects into clients and how to communicate with them more effectively. This seminar is free for members of the Chamber of Commerce and $10 for non-members. To get more information, send an email to wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com. Let's Talk, an ESL discussion group, is taking place Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon at the West Bloomfield Public Library. Open to anyone learning or hoping to improve their English language skills. A tutor will be present to facilitate the conversation. Sign up is free. For more information, visit wblib.org. And that's this week's highlights. You can find more events online at civiccentertv.com/events and see everything going on in the greater West Bloomfield area. And we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll be speaking with author Suzanne Jacobs Lipshaw.
Don't go away. You're watching The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Civic Center TV is your home for everything greater West Bloomfield. Here you can tune into community programming such as our weekly news magazine show, The Splash, as well as coverage of local events and meetings in Keego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, and West Bloomfield. You can also watch all of your local programming online anytime at civiccentertv.com. Civic Center TV, television that's close to home.
And now, back to The Splash on Civic Center TV.
Welcome back. We're joined by author Suzanne Jacobs, and she has written the book, I Campaigned for Ice Cream. And so tell me, how long did this book take you to write?
It took me about 2 years to write and then another 6 months to have it published.
Okay, this is a true story.
This is a true story.
Okay, this is a true story about your son Josh. And so I want you, we have the book right here, I want you to go ahead and read a little excerpt for me, and then we'll talk about the story.
On a sizzling summer day, 9-year-old Josh Lipshaw was cheering for his brother Jeremy's t-ball team when he heard a rare sound, the jingle-jangle of an ice cream truck. Leaping off the bleachers, he grabbed his mom and raced to the truck to buy his favorite ice cream, a chocolate crunch bar. After gobbling it down, he asked his mom, "Why do ice cream trucks come to Jeremy's t-ball games, but not our neighborhood?" "The baseball field's in another town," his mom said. "Ice cream trucks aren't allowed in our town."
And so the story begins.
That's where it all started.
That's where it all started. So tell me, what happened after that?
I suggested to Josh. Josh wondered why ice cream trucks weren't allowed, and I said I didn't know and that we should call the township to find out. So a few days later, he called up the township and talked to the deputy supervisor, Marjorie Fitzman-Kirsch. She explained to him that it was due to a 1954 peddler's law that banned all foodstuff and any goods, including ice cream, to be sold on city streets. And he didn't feel that was fair. And she said, "I agree." And she said, "You know, you can change the law." And she explained to him the steps he would need to take. And he said, "Mom, I want to do this." And I said, "Okay, I'll guide you along the way and support you. And let's go for it."
You're a teacher by trade?
I am a teacher.
Okay, so you kind of, how did you feel? Your son wanted to take on this big task, and you're a teacher, so you kind of have that, okay, this is what we do, these are the steps, but did you do that with him?
I didn't. I told him straight out that I am here to guide him, but it is all on his shoulders. So if there is something that needs to be done, he needs to come to me and say, "Okay, Mom, I want to write the letter. Can you help me write the letter? Mom, I need to organize a petition. Can you help me figure out what I need to do?"
And that's what he needed to do, right? It started with a petition?
It started with a letter to the township asking to be put on their agenda for a board meeting and gathering petition signatures from adults and kids in the neighborhood that agreed and supported ice cream trucks.
So then he went to his first meeting.
He went to his first meeting, and he had a speech prepared, and he spoke and talked about all his reasons as to why he felt ice cream trucks should be allowed in West Bloomfield.
Give me one of those reasons.
One of the reasons, the first one was, well, everyone likes ice cream.
Good enough, right? So there were 3 meetings he had to go to.
3 meetings.
So this was not just a one and done. He had to go to 3 different meetings, and it was an ongoing battle.
It was an ongoing battle, and he didn't realize, none of us realized at the beginning that it was going to be 3 meetings long. We thought, 1 meeting, he'll find out, and that wasn't what it was. So after the first meeting, they voted to draft an ordinance, an amendment to the ordinance. Still wasn't clear whether that meant that they were going to pass it, but they were willing to discuss it further. And they sent Josh a draft of the ordinance in the mail, and when he read it over, he read one part that said, that ice cream trucks couldn't use their bells, chimes, or music. So again, he was in an uproar. This isn't fair. How are we going to know if the ice cream trucks are coming if
That's
you
all
can't?
part of it, right?
Right, that's the fun of it.
That's the fun of it.
So I said, well, looks like you need to write another speech. So we did.
So second meeting.
Second meeting.
And by this time, support was really starting to build, wasn't it?
We had a lot of community support before the first meeting. Josh passed out flyers to family and friends and neighbors, so there were a lot of kids and adults and family members, friends of ours that all lived in West Bloomfield came to the meetings. There was some opposition of some other people that did hear about it. And
what was the biggest
out.
opposition?
Mostly safety. There was safety, litter concerns, people feeling that they could just as easily go to a neighborhood ice cream shop and we didn't really need the trucks in the area.
So he goes to the second meeting and says, you know, we need music, we need ice cream trucks, and then what happens?
Long list of discussion. The board argued and debated back and forth about whether the music should be played or not, and revisited a lot of the safety issues that were talked about at the first meeting, discussed the hours, and we just kind of listened, and different people came up to make comments from the audience.
So give me some examples of who showed up in the audience to talk for him.
Well, there were lots of friends and family that Josh only had one friend of ours who's was a lawyer, so he set her up to actually speak. But there were people that we didn't even know that got up to speak pro ice cream trucks. It really was only the first meeting that we had community people speaking against the ice cream trucks.
Okay. And then lo and behold,
a third meeting.
Yes. and we know those meetings can be long.
Right, and it was for the final vote. We had one naysayer at the second meeting, one of the board trustees members. And yeah, they did the final vote. Unbeknownst to us again, there was a troop of Boy Scouts that came to speak out against, to speak out for ice cream trucks. So they all spoke, and Josh's brother, unbeknownst to us, also popped out of his seat and decided to get up there at 6 years old and give his little speech. And the final vote happened, and ice cream trucks are now allowed in West Bloomfield.
So how does that make you feel as a mom?
Well, I was so extremely proud of Josh, but beyond that, I feel that he's now has a legacy in the city of West Bloomfield, so it's just really wonderful that because of Josh, kids of all ages will get that cherished memory of having ice cream when they're kids and seeing the ice cream trucks. It's something that, you know, I enjoyed as a kid, and it's just wonderful to know that Josh made that possible for all the kids of West Bloomfield.
So how old is he now?
He's 27.
And he lives out of state?
He lives in Colorado. He's an aerospace engineer.
Maybe he's designing ice cream trucks? What's he doing?
He's designing satellites, but yeah, maybe we can have some ice cream up for the people at the International Space Station.
Right?
Josh can figure out a way to get it there.
Exactly. And then your younger son, still in the area?
He is also an engineer, and he's working in Livonia.
Okay, so when you see those ice cream trucks, and Josh is out of town, but he'll be back in a few weeks, and what does he think about all this? I mean, you've written a book about the experience. What does he have to say?
He's thrilled. He's very proud of his mom. It's been a dream of mine to write a children's book, and so to see my dream come true and for that to happen to me and for my kids to see that, again, you work towards something and you really work hard, the lesson that Josh learned, you can make things happen.
So this book is available.
It is available currently on Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, and Warren Publishing, which is the publisher, and it will be in select bookstores shortly.
Okay, and then you can also sign these books as well, correct?
I can.
Okay.
Actually, West Bloomfield Township has been wonderful, and they are hosting it's called a book launch release party, and it's on Wednesday, May 22nd at the West Bloomfield Town Hall. I keep saying the room where it happened for all of us Hamilton fans.
Right.
And they are being extremely generous, and I'm going to be signing and selling books at that.
And a special guest will be with you.
Yes, Josh is going to be
Josh
there.
is gonna
He
be
told
there
me
as well.
that he would fly in for the day no matter what, but I'm actually getting him for a week, which is tremendous. And I said I thought he should sign the books too. So if you come to the West Bloomfield Town Hall for the book party, you will be the only ones to have both our signatures in the book.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And it's such a great story, and especially summertime, hopefully arriving sometime soon,
Yes,
right?
please.
We know it's Michigan, but come on already.
I know. Where's our sunshine?
Exactly. So those ice cream trucks, when they are rolling around and you hear the music, then everybody knows who's responsible for those. And what a cool legacy to have.
Thank you.
It has been a pleasure to meet you, and cannot wait to see you and Josh next week for a book signing. And again, we've been speaking to author Suzanne Jacobs Lipshaw about I Campaigned for Ice Cream. And on this week's episode of A Minute with Nature, we learn about some of the native plants in our community.
Hello and welcome to Minute with Nature. I'm your host, Lauren Azuri, the park naturalist for West Bloomfield Parks. And today we're here inside our nature room talking about native plants and why you might want to plant some native plants in your garden as well. Well, what is a native plant? A native plant is a plant that has evolved here in our area, and it's adapted to the climate and soil here. A native plant has grown in Michigan, or their native area, for hundreds of thousands of years, so have developed ecological relationships with the animals in our area as well. Why would you want to plant native plants in your yard? Well, there's lots of reasons, but one is convenience. Native plants grow better in Michigan. They don't require fertilizer or pesticides, as well as less watering. Since they're from here and they're used to the conditions here, you don't need to add as much water or fertilizer to the soil that they're growing in your garden, so they're lower maintenance. 90% of all leaf-eating insects can only eat native plants, which means that it's super important for us to provide food sources for them. If we plant non-natives tropical plants, they have no ecological value and animals will not use them at all. Monarchs is the best example of this that many people already are familiar with. Monarchs love milkweed, and their milkweed is the only plant that a monarch caterpillar will eat, and is also the only plant that monarch adults will lay their eggs on. Butterflies are beautiful to view, but butterflies are also pollinators. So pollinators obviously help our world and bring us a lot of the food that we eat. I bet you're wondering maybe now where you can buy native plants from. We don't really recommend that you go to a commercial greenhouse for them. A lot of commercial greenhouses have hybrids of native plants, or they're the same species of a plant that might grow here, but they didn't come from Michigan originally. So you really would ideally love a native plant that was grown in Michigan and the seeds started in Michigan. So look for a local native grower. Here at West Bloomfield Parks, we partner with a native grower and offer a native plant sale in May. So you can visit us there for a great source of buying native plants as well. You can also go to the Audubon website, and they have a great map where you can list your zip code and get native plant ideas for our area. Here in Michigan, some great, beautiful flowers that you'll enjoy in your garden, and so will all those pollinators like butterflies, are asters, coneflowers, milkweed, and black-eyed Susans. So I hope you plant some natives, attract some wildlife for you to view, but also help your environment. And that's your Minute with Nature.
For more episodes of Minute with Nature, visit civiccentertv.com/MWN. And now it's time for our final segment, Person of the Week, where we celebrate the people in the community who are inspiring and providing toward others. And this week's recipient is Mary Suchu of the West Bloomfield Park Stretch and Tone class. For nearly 20 years, Mary Suchu has taken part in one of the great staples of recreation in Greater West Bloomfield, the West Bloomfield Park Stretch and Tone class. Mary and her fellow instructors work hard to inspire people in our community to keep active, have fun through movement, and improve their physical and mental health through physical activity. Mary's enthusiasm, kindness, and supportive demeanor make her an excellent instructor and an inspiring leader in our community members' quest for greater health, which is why she is our Person of the Week. And if you know someone who is making a positive difference, let us know. Send an email to thesplash@civiccentertv.com. We want to congratulate and acknowledge those making a difference in our community, and we appreciate your suggestions. That's it for this week's show. You can watch new episodes Mondays at 5:30 p.m. at Civic Center TV, on Comcast 15, AT&T 99, and online in HD at civiccentertv.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Civic Center TV. And for more Metro Detroit news, you can listen to me and Greg Bowman weekdays from 2 to 7 p.m. on WWJ Newsradio 950. And for all our friends in Sylvan Lake, Orchard Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Brooke Allen. Thank you for watching The Splash.